Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'll be showing you guys a full beginner's guide on how to use Clickup. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So for those of you who aren't aware, Clickup is one of the more powerful project management tools out there. It has all the bells and whistles that you ever need out of a project management tool. And if you guys use other tools like Monday.com or Trello, then you'll know what I'm talking about. And the reason I actually personally prefer ClickUp over the other project management tools is because it deviates in ways where ClickUp is more convenient and has more automations. ClickUp, in fact, has more intuitive link ups with different apps like Slack, Descript, Hubstaff, Frame.io, Google Drive, YouTube, and the like. And one other thing that sets it apart from other project management tools is how intuitive the user interface is. That being said, it still comes with its own fair share of bugs and whatnot, but that's not to take away from the fact that it's one of the more actually in fact it's one of the complete PM tools that you can use for any application. And it's not just limited to stuff like remote work, but there are times when ClickUp could come very handy when using it for real life applications like construction projects, floor plans, store blueprints, interior design, and whatnot. Now, with all of that said, let's actually get to the bare bones structure of ClickUp. So I think at first I think I'll go over each section of the ClickUp dashboard and explain things as I go. So let's start at the very top, and the top is the search bar. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. You type down something like a project name, or you could input like a task that was assigned to a person, and ClickUp will find it for you. Pretty self-explanatory. And um, besides, a search toolbar is fundamental for any project management tool. That way, you just get to instantly search up whatever you're looking for. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the next section. So this over here is called the workspace, as to not be confused with spaces, which I'll get into later. But for now, let's talk about workspaces. So if I were to explain it in the simplest of terms, a workspace would be a master folder, whereas spaces would be its subfolders or its subsidiaries. So to put it in layman terms, if this were an online store for a clothing brand, let's say this was Nike. So the workspace would be Nike, and the spaces would be Nike shoes, Nike T-shirts, Nike apparel, Nike sportswear, and whatnot. You get the gist. Now, the nice thing about this is ClickUp will allow you to collect, or rather, keep all of your workspaces into one account. So what this means is that you can seamlessly switch between different workspaces, and they will bring up a corresponding list of spaces which you could work on. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the next feature. So home obviously is a home button. This should take you to the dashboard where a list of your active projects would be generated. And the nice thing about ClickUp is that it can organize your projects in a manner to your preference that'll fit your preference. So you could have it organized in an order of urgency, or whichever ones are high priority, which ones have like the earliest deadlines and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Now, inbox goes without saying, will take you to a page with all of your received messages. So here is where you actually get to communicate with your clients and whatnot. If they were to send you an email and your email was linked to your ClickUp, they would be sent here. So that's just for convenience in terms of design. So an example scenario would be, let's say that a client didn't like one of the thumbnails you made for um, their YouTube channel, and they would like to make some micro changes or adjustments to the thumbnail. So normally, this is where those messages would end up in the inbox. And the nice thing about it is, and like I said, it's linked to your email. So if they were to send a an email directly to, well, your email, so it could be like Gmail or Yahoo or whatever, it would a copy would be sent to your ClickUp's inbox, assuming that it's linked. So that's pretty cool. Now, documents is pretty self-explanatory. This is a collection of all of your notes as well as some workflows and standard operating procedures for ClickUp. And here's where you actually have a collection of it. Now, dashboards are more interesting, and the reason for that is because if you have admin privileges, the dashboards tab will take you to each individual dashboard of the person or persons working for you in that company, or rather, people um, under your department. So, an example would be R&D. So, you being the project manager, you'd be in charge of coordinating everyone in R&D. So, the dashboards tab will actually take you to their individual dashboards and will show you a list of their assigned tasks for the day. So that's just a handy tool to keep track of everything in all of our projects. Okay, now moving on to the next. Obviously, favorites will take you. You can pin anything as your favorite, like different workspaces or spaces, or even your own dashboard and whatnot. So let's talk about spaces now. Now we're actually going to go a bit more in depth in the bare bones design and fundamentals of ClickUp, because when you click on the space, this is actually where all the action happens. So if I were to click on the November projects space, oh, actually this is the wrong one. I'll go to this other one, FRC. So if I were to click on this space, you'll see that there's a bunch of sub menus with a list of active projects in which you could edit. So the nice thing about this is you get to organize it to your liking. And with ClickUp's built-in assist, the possibilities are endless. This tool has a lot of application for flexibility. So let's say I were to go to the June to the projects that we did on June. So this would show you a list of all of the projects that were made on in that month. So let's say I were to click on this project right here. So this little pop-up window would be like the home page for that particular project. And here you can see stuff like the standard workflow or operating procedure for this project, what tasks or subtasks will be assigned to which people, and stuff like details like deadlines, urgencies, and the time required to finish them, as well as some assets like links or redirect links to Google Drive so they can actually work on the thing. Now, the cool thing about this is, and I'm pretty sure that other project management tools have this too, is that you can apply a code dependency with each subtask. Meaning, let's pretend that I need to finish. We need the team to finish a task in under research and development, and that would be, let's say file. Okay, let's say that they need to finish a multicam edit. So multicam talks about an example would be, let's say, a podcast and they have like multiple cameras set up in one screen. So multicam edit would talk about the R&D team zooming into whoever is the uh, subject of interest, or the person who's currently talking in the meeting or the podcast. So a multicam edit would zoom into that person and then switch to the next who would respond. So that's pretty cool. Now, to actually add a codependency with this, let's pretend, for example, we need a file compression to be done before we can do a multicam edit. Now, the reason this is important is because we need to optimize the workflow, and file compression would be a fundamental step in doing that, as to actually bring down the file size would make it even more accessible to the entire team, so they could just download it super fast instead of waiting for it very long. So to actually add a code dependency to this, what you need to do is you need to click on these three dots, and we actually need to assign it to someone first. Okay, so let's actually assign this one to me as well. And it's not actually these three dots, my bad. It's actually these three right here. So once you've made your selections, you want to, whoops, that's wrong, my bad. So once you've made your selections, you want to click on these three dots and you want to go to relationships, and under relationships, you'll see an option that says dependency. Now here's where you actually get to customize the type of dependency that these two tasks will have. So you could have it as the file compression needs to be completed before you can mark this task as complete, or vice versa. And what this does is when you apply this option to these two tasks, you wouldn't be able to complete one of the other unless the first one required to be finished isn't done. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's move on to the different formats of what types of tasks and uh, requirements you can assign to others. So there are checklists, as you can see here, and assuming that they have access to update the status for these, the people in mind being R&D, they can simply click on resolve, basically give it a check mark to let the team know that this has been done. So that's one. Now subtasks, on the other hand, oh hold on, would take you to this page here where um, this is the actual name of the project and these are the subtasks. So some work will go into R&D, some into file compression, although I think I've already put a checklist in this one. So let's just pretend that this one is, or rather the one on the main page of the subtasks isn't there. So once we're past R&D, it goes into a the multicam edit. This is actually where this is different from the multicam that I showed you earlier. So this would talk about the editing team actually adding in subtitles and effects to the podcast. And the stuff that follows are just the normal steps. So editing, content analysis, QA, delivery, and whatnot. You get the gist. So with all that out of the way, let's move on to one of the last sections that I'll talk about. So the comments section is a good way, right here on the right side of the project, is a good way to actually update the team to let them know about the going ons or developments within that project. So that's pretty cool. And to simply write a comment, you just have to type down whatever and hit send. And the nice thing is you get to tag people by uh, adding them like this. So yeah, those are the basics and the fundamentals for using ClickUp as a project management tool. So if you guys found this guide video helpful, be sure to let us know down in the comment section below. And if you guys want to see more videos like these, you can do so by subscribing to our channel and make sure that the bell notification is turned on so you don't miss out on any of our videos. So with all of that said, thank you all for watching and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.